The show was called You're Unbearable. And I was in a koala suit interviewing people.
What happened to it? Was it like TV Party or something?
It was for Adult Swim, and then
I could see that.
People get fired or whatever, and then you see your shit on other shows. You're like, oh, we pitched something like that. Eric Andre, 10 years before.
Yeah. It's the Eric Andre.
Then you look at the producers on
Eric
the show
Andre
and you're like,
I'm not mad. He's Haitian, not mad. Fellow half Haitian, but
and a Hebrew. He's like a half a Haitian, half a Hebrew.
I'm only a 16th of Hebrew, right? 8th of Hebrew.
I mean, who's counting?
I don't know. Hebrews.
You're making the most of it. That's
Eric Andre is
Hebrews
a special
count. That's funny, right? Hebrews count. I got jokes.
I think that's pretty good. That's definitely a T-shirt for sure.
Isn't that Trump's 2020 slogan?
Who knows?
Picture of Noah like this.
Yeah.
Hebrews count.
Yeah, I could see it. Sounds about right. I'm just gonna do the intro. Mary Jane, good afternoon, and welcome once again to About That Time. I'm your host, Noah Rubin, and we're very, very excited. We once again have a lit-ass guest on the show. Today we are joined by the one and only Sacha Jenkins. Now, if you aren't up on Sasha's movement, he is a director of the films. He is a maker of the music. He is a cultural icon in the flesh. Most recently, he was just nominated for an Emmy for his doc series of Mics and Men. That is on Showtime now. If you stream it up, you can check it out. It is about the Wu-Tang Clan, legends of the rap music. Sasha, thanks so much for coming through.
Thanks for having me, sir.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Guys, I didn't mention, we're here with Kalia, as usual.
Not here.
Per usual. Doing it up, doing our thing. Sasha, thanks so much for coming through.
What could be better?
What could be better? I can't actually think of it. Sasha coming to visit the About That Time set here in Los Angeles on a Tuesday. I don't think a Tuesday gets any better than that.
In between meetings, guys.
In between meetings. We're squeezed into the aggressive Hollywood level schedule of this young man. How do you like being in the LA nowadays?
I like the weather. It's nice. It's a contrast from New York City. It's a little bit slower. You drive around, or people drive you. Now that I'm here, I'm not renting cars anymore. Get in an Uber.
Get in the Uber.
There you go.
It's easy. You can make some phone calls, think about your life as you look at the scenery. Some of it's a bit redundant, no disrespect, but it's nice.
Strip malls. There's a lot of strip malls.
A lot of strip malls.
There's a lot of strip malls. It's
Yeah.
It's not Manhattan.
No, but it's nice. It's really nice.
Now, when was the first time you came to LA?
Well, actually, I lived in LA in my youth, from age 2 to 3.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, my father was a television producer, and they lived here for about a year. My mother hated it because she liked to walk on the street, and people thought you were a strange person if you walked in LA.
That's true.
So they eventually moved back.
I see that. What neighborhood were you living in back then?
I don't know, but there's pictures of me on the beach in Venice at age 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you put in a little time when you were early on.
My dad was tight with Martin Sheen.
Wow.
That was his man.
That's high level.
Yeah.
Chilling with the Sheens.
Chilling with the Sheens, yo.
Going swimming in the pool at the Sheens' house.
Exactly.
That's kind of high level. But, fast forward a ways, then as a professional yourself,
yes,
in the film hustle, you began coming out here to LA as someone who spent a lot of time in New York. What was that like?
Well, the first time I came as a young adult, must have been 19. I had a graffiti zine, and there was a graffiti convention here. There was a magazine called Ghetto Art, then it was called Can Control. So they hosted this big graffiti convention with graffiti writers, and people were selling their shit. Came to the convention. This is when Pump It Up with D. Barnes was like a really popular show on television. So it was like seeing rappers, we saw Ice Cube from a distance. It was like a big deal. And then on our last day, we're like, yo, let's go to Venice Beach. We had never been. We're literally going to go to the airport. We stopped at Venice Beach. And I see all these like surfer dudes and shit. So we all thought it was sweet. We just left all our shit in the trunk. And we're coming back from swimming. And I'm like, oh, so one of you forgot to close the trunk. Because I'm not thinking we're getting robbed. And of course, everything got stolen. So I learned that California, very early on, I learned that it was very real.
It has a real side.
Yeah. But also got pulled over by the cops back then. We were 5 black men multiple times, which I thought was odd. I wasn't a driver then. I was like, why do they keep pulling us over? And then they were like, you're wearing gang stuff, but you're not.
In a gang
Yeah,
neighborhood.
because we're like, we're not from New York. Like, oh, well, you better be careful. So,
And when was this?
90?
The good old days.
Yeah.
LA's changed a lot since then.
Yeah, how has it changed?
Well, there's like fancy pants restaurants.
You mean
Neighborhoods that used to be hard are kind of like...
gentrification? in other words?
Gentrification is what happens, yeah, the urban areas, you know? There was the white flight, and then there was the gentrification. You know quite a lot about the history of the LA, actually, because you directed a film called Burn, Motherfucker, Burn.
Burn,
is that right?
motherfucker, burn.
Tell us a little bit more about that experience.
Well, that film was about the so-called riots of Los Angeles, and coming up after Rodney King. I made a film that went as far back as 65 because the same thing happened in 65. And when you look at what happened in 65 and what happened in 94, you put the footage together. It's like, wow, same people, same neighborhoods, same problem, police issues, whatever. So I went back to Florence and Normandy with one of the reporters who was there when Reginald Denny and all that thing went down. And he got beat up. White journalist, he kind of got beat up. He's recounting the story at the scene of the situation, and I got cameras and everything. I'm from New York. I don't know shit. I'm just like, I'm just making a film. This older gentleman, a brother, walks by. He's a little sauced up. He checks me out and just keeps moving. And he goes to my producer, who happens to be a black woman, whatever. So I'm not thinking anything of it. He makes a phone call. 15 minutes later, we're surrounded by the homies. And they're like, yo, who the fuck are you? You can't, we're tired of motherfuckers just coming up in here. You can't just come here. And I'm like, I'm a black filmmaker trying to tell a story, no disrespect, whatever. I said I did this film called Fresh Dress about the history of hip hop fashion. They're like, oh wait, you did Fresh Dress? Nah, you're cool. So it gave me a pass, which was a good feeling because we could have got fucked up. But again, another lesson about LA: you can't just show up unannounced. You've got to know people. People in the neighborhoods are very sophisticated, and they understand how to work with production companies, and they command a certain level of respect and money. I didn't know that.
Access to the neighborhood.
So I learned.
Keys to the hood.
Yep.
But part of that process is knowing good friends that are from the LA. You have some good friends that are from the LA. Maybe like our friend Mers. He can tell us some things about the LA.
Mers
right?
is a great man and a wonderful rapper. And Angelino, is that how you say it?
I think so.
Are you originally from here?
No.
Where are you
I'm from the Bay Area.
Ah, the Yay area. All right. Nice. People are nice in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I get that a lot when I meet people, and once we get to the "where are you from" portion of the conversation, they're like, "Oh, well, that makes sense." I'm like,
More like New York, kind of the Bay Area to me.
I see how you could say that. Well, yeah, no, not at all here. No.
I think the East Coast relates to the NorCal more.
Oh, for sure.
Than the SoCal. SoCal, I feel like it's like a planet. You're like in planet LA.
It's its own. Like people forget like seasons. Like I miss, because I mean. I'm from a part of California that gets seasons and
leaves change color.
They fall. You actually wear a jacket because it's below 60 for real, not because it's just 60.
Right.
Yeah, LA is strange. That's why every now and then I just have to leave.
It
can get to you.
I agree with that.
I got no beef. I'm just passing through. I don't want any problems.
No, you definitely don't. You're bringing the good vibes. Speaking of bringing good vibes, I want to introduce you, Sasha. This is Bowie the cat. He's part of our critter clique. We hang out with our animals.
Nice.
Bowie's got a strange little glow to him today. I think he got into some of our snacks earlier.
Facts.
Those are the uniques. Sometimes he's always looking for a unique to get his claws into. You can give him a pet. I don't. Do you have a cat allergy, Sasha?
I am, but I feel like this kind of cat I might be good.
This could be
good
safe.
kind of cat.
Look,
Oh wow!
Look, he's warming up.
Oh wow!
He's warming up to you, Sash.
This is nice.
You're making fast friends. That's the thing. You come to LA. You're
easy.
repping the Mets.
Bowie don't play.
You're
Scratching
repping
his
the
back.
Mets.
Look at that. He likes that.
Making fast friends.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Whoa! Chill.
All right, see, I told you
Wow, now he's up on your shoulder, Sash. You got a cat.
No animal abuse.
No, there he is, chilling on his
Cheetah
shoulder.
will be all over us. We must stop this.
He pieced out. But that's cats. They're very autonomous creatures. Unlike the dog, it feels like more. It's with you, whereas the cat is kind of with itself.
Facts.
Very
Very true.
Have you ever considered getting a pet?
You know, I'd love to get a pet, but my rambunctious lifestyle. I have a pet. He's a 7-year-old kid named Marceau, and that's a major responsibility. So
That's a lot of responsibility.
you want to be able to give your animal the right kind of, attention. You know what I mean? So
True, and that's a worthy investment right there. The love of one's child.
I mean, it's the biggest job I have currently.
It's a big job. What are some of the biggest surprises you've had since becoming a father?
Well, you learn that, like, you think. Well, first of all, my kid, he looks in the face. He looks exactly like his mom, but he has my expression, my eyes. But he has my body. He literally has my hands. It's weird. Like, he has my hand. I'm like, yo, you fucking have my hands. He has my feet. He has my legs. He's got everything, but he has his mom's face, which is a good look for him. Better look for him. But you go into it thinking, like, you're looking for yourself in your kid, but then you realize that your kid is his own person. You know what I mean? And then it's interesting to see how that person develops, and they say things that you don't expect, and like, where did you get that from? Where did you get that idea? And you see how they kind of try to work through their ideas. So it's fascinating seeing him becoming his own person. And then there are things I think that are genetic that he might inherit, and things that he's going to pick up by way of his surroundings that are habitual that I might do, or his mom or his sister. But it's fascinating to see how it all comes together and makes a person.
And he's 7?
He's 7, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So he's saying all types of interesting things.
Oh, he loves
right
to
now.
curse right now. That's his thing.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's like... But we're trying to help him understand, like, all right, if you're going to do that, obviously you know when you shouldn't be saying it. But also, he doesn't know how to curse. He's, like, saying the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Gotcha.
So he's working on that. But apparently that's a phase that a lot of kids go through. He'll get out of it. He'll grow out of it. He better.
Kids like to say swear words sometimes. I think that's just part of the thing.
Yep.
We have check-in from our audience, actually. They may be asking us a question or just checking in from around the world. Hello from Belgium. Well, Stephanie Lebon, thank you for checking in from Belgium. Have you been to Belgium, Sasha?
I wish.
Belgium's a pretty interesting place. Brussels is a city with some history into it. Home of the United Nations.
True.
So, yeah. I mean, place of the French fry? French fries are pretty important.
What about Brussels sprouts?
That was my next question.
Or Belgian waffles.
That was the first thing I thought, but I did not want to
Belgian
offend
waffles,
Stephanie.
Belgian fries, Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts. I have no clue what the correlation between the Brussels sprout and Brussels is.
I bet
but
you
if
there's
anyone
a
out there
correlation.
has a sense,
Stephanie
Lebon, is there any correlation between the country of Brussels and what we here in America call Brussels sprouts? Because I imagine in French, the Brussels sprout is called something.
in Brussels, it's just the sprout.
It's just sprout. Le sprout.
Can I get le sprout,
Le
please?
sprout.
The balls.
So who has been your most exciting / famous guest? Because I'm really low. You guys are having a slow week if you got me on here.
Oh, get out of here! This guy's so modest.
Who's like your biggest
Him.
The biggest celebrity? Well, we got our dancing skeleton.
right?
This guy, he's pretty big time.
Okay.
He's pretty big time. What, you want me to name drop out here, Sasha?
Yeah,
You
come
trying to
on,
put me the
big up the
spot?
show.
I don't know. Well, let's see. We had Cheech from Cheech and Chong on.
That's
He was
big.
pretty awesome.
That's big.
Last week we had Drummer Boy, one of the most legendary hip hop producers of all time. We
Nice.
had funk legend George Clinton on.
How was that?
Incredible, because he dropped knowledge on what it was like to be a cool guy, like literally straight from 1950 to today. He's like, oh, in 1950 whatever, this is what the cool shit was, and he just like dropped knowledge on the entire history of being cool, basically. So it was definitely a meta perspective. Those kind of experiences definitely make the About That Time quite interesting and worthwhile.
Yeah.
And how long has it been since you guys been doing it now?
We started the show in the end of 2017. And we've been producing it pretty consistently since then. I think this is our 96th episode, actually, Sasha. We could get a fact check on that, but it's something like that.
But I don't know if the viewers understand that this is one of my closest friends. We go way back. What do you know? What do they know about you, actually? I'm curious.
Me, Noah Rubin. Well, I am the infamous personality in facing forward here at Mary Jane.
That's all they know? They don't know about,
I mean, I've produced some hip-hop records with some groups like the Wu-Tang Clan.
Right. Go ahead. Preach. Go ahead.
I've been an affiliate of the Mass Appeal family for many years.
Preach.
We put out some great records. I've A&R'd for some electronic artists like Flume, who won a Grammy a couple years back on a record that I worked on.
That's right.
And here I am, just
Stats, baby.
holding it down for the Mary Jane family. One of my projects that I'm most proud of, Sasha, that we'll get into later, actually involves you.
Boom.
So we'll
Okay,
talk about
look
it. And
forward
that's
to
a
that.
great segue, actually, Sash, because we do a segment here on About That Time. We call it Post It Up. You don't really post on the social media, but basically we show some pictures. You tell us what's going on in them. And that's kind of the long and the short of it.
All right, let's do it.
So we got a picture here. We were speaking a little bit earlier
that's
about you and your lady and the Seed Marceau.
That's right.
Here
I'm
he
wearing
is.
the same shirt.
Wearing
Yo,
the same-
crazy.
You got more than one of those shirts, though. I
do.
think that's a
do.
good thing. Is that's kind of easy to have on deck.
Yes.
Is to just
As I said
have the
earlier, you
crisp
see
shirt.
he's got his mother's face. Much better look for him than mine. So
It does seem
big
like
up,
it.
big up to that. The strong
He is a
Dominican
cutie.
strong Dominican DNA.
Strong Dominican DNA. He's
Yeah.
got the hair. His hair is amazing.
Yes.
He's got amazing hair.
Yes, he does.
Like his mom and his dad. His dad has a great hair look too.
Yeah.
Well, she's also sporting a White Man Dingo's T-shirt.
Jeez,
Just FYI.
you got the whole family decked out. Really, the bands are really just a vehicle through which
Yeah.
to create merchandise to clothe your family.
Yeah. Exactly. We're not selling them any shirts.
If you guys don't know about the White Man Dingoes, that is a band that features the Murs, who we were speaking of earlier, as well as the Sasha, playing the guitars. And I participated in some of that musical shenanigans as well.
Sure did.
Because we're out here living life, doing good things, trying to make people happy. We have another picture here for Post It Up. It's with you and a guy who is, I believe, a Mass Appeal affiliate here and there. Sometimes.
And now.
Woo! Look at
Oh
that.
wow!
I
Look
had
at
to
this.
do
You
it.
guys do your
I had to do
research.
it.
Who's that, Sash? What's
Well,
going on?
I'm wearing a hat, a very, I don't know, semi quasi dignified hat. I look like an undertaker. To my right is Jungle, who is the brother of the other man, Mr. Nasir Jones. Yeah.
Nasty.
What's
Nas.
Mr. Nasir Jones like in person? What's it like kicking it with Nas?
Well, we went to the same junior high school and we became friends later in life, but it turns out we had a lot of, people in common and similar experiences. He's a good guy, man. His poetry at such a young age not only inspired so many people, but it changed his life and the lives of so many people around him. And we come from a place where sometimes people aren't capable of being happy for someone who's outwardly successful, but I feel like his success is mine. I'm never going to have as many donuts in my account in terms of zeros, or maybe I will, but I feel like all the money he's made and all the success and all the change that he's inspired through his art, I feel like it's my success too. It's the success of all of us where we come from, because basically no one had the public schools that we went to, no one had any expectations for us, and he had the same experience I had, which was the guidance counselor told him that he should go to vocational school, and they told me the same thing. And there's nothing wrong with vocational school, but if Nas would have gone to vocational school, maybe we wouldn't have had, Illmatic. So
Fortunately, we have Illmatic.
why not?
Yeah, it's pretty good. We're in the music zone. We've got another image. I think we referenced this a little bit earlier, Sash.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Platinum group, the
Guys.
Wilding incident.
That's me. That's Sash.
Look at that.
That's some friends of ours.
Look at how chiseled Noah's face is. He's got that look like he's
I
ready to commit a crime or embezzle money.
Yeah.
One or the other.
and look cool doing
Which
it.
is
That's
also
really
a
the main
crime.
main part of it. Main part of it. I caught a.
Well, it's not a crime. Embezzling money in America.
I have to
Why
be
not?
honest with this image. I feel like the shadow cast by Danny's head really helps my jawline.
Wow.
I'm just
For
gonna
sure.
say that right there. I think I caught a good shadow.
Right,
in this
jawline's
one.
looking sexy.
It's a bad picture. No, Noah, you are honestly one of the most photogenic men that I know.
Wow.
Whoa.
I'm-
That's a real compliment. Oh, Kalia is speaking bluntly, guys. She has raised the honorary
I'm
blunt.
serious.
She is about to speak bluntly.
Take this moment. If you're watching this on your phone, I need you to get on your laptop and vice versa and look this man up. Extremely photogenic.
Wow.
Extremely photogenic.
Wow.
Not easy to do. Not easy.
I'm getting a little bit choked up. The main thing that's a problem with people trying to look me up, guys, is that there is a very well-known tennis player whose name is also Noah Rubin.
Wow.
So this guy is crapping all over me because if you search Noah Rubin, the kid he won juniors Wimbledon.
I'm
Rubin.
willing
He's-
to bet he's not as photogenic as you, though.
I will say this though, Kalia, if there was another, he's a pretty good-looking guy. I mean, he's a fit tennis player, from Long Island.
Nice.
Okay, I'll give him that.
Look, we could be related. There could be, there could be multiple angles, but in other words, It's hard. It's hard. This guy's out there just trying to be me.
Look up Noah Rubin and then put like Snoop next to it or something
Snoop,
like that.
guys, we have a picture
Okay,
of the other Noah Rubin.
Blow him up.
Other Noah Rubin. Let's blow him up. Who is it, guys?
Wow.
Who is Noah Rubin? Can we figure it out? Is this
Great to
Noah
meet
Rubin?
He looks like your man Adam, the singer dude from the what's his name?
Levine.
Adam
Yeah.
Levine.
Yeah.
Or sort of like a tan, short-haired Hebrew gentleman of the
Yeah,
sort.
exactly.
Yeah, well,
I was this
shout
close
out
to
Noah
breaking
Rubin.
out
Noah
into
Rubin,
song.
we will have you on the show anytime. We can talk about your name. We actually met another Noah Rubin recently.
We
while we were
did.
shooting. There's a rapper named Teddy, who's like New York kid, has some family in Sweden. His dad was in some punk rock bands out there. His younger brother, their last name is Rubin. His younger brother's name is Noah, and he came to this shoot, and he's like, I was really confused at first because the logo came up on the screen while we were monitoring, and I thought we were talking about my little brother, who's in the room right now. Noah Rubins are out here creeping. Have you ever
Out
met
here.
another Sacha Jenkins, Sasha?
Well, it's so fucking funny that you mentioned this. So there's someone on Twitter who's a wrestler named Sacha Jenkins, but he spells it Sasha.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this big exhibition, a street art exhibition that I helped produce called Beyond the Streets, or I'm one of the curators or whatever. It's in New York City right now. There's a big opening the other week, and this guy comes up to me. He's like, yo, I've always wanted to meet you. I'm Sacha Jenkins. I'm the other Sacha Jenkins. I'm like, oh, shit, you're the wrestler? He's like, yeah. So then we exchanged information, and then the email came through with a different name. And I was like, yo, wait a minute. Sacha Jenkins isn't your name? He was like, no, I chose that name from my wrestling name because I thought it was strong. And I was like, oh, wow.
That's insane. That's good.
That's wild.
Well, it's not quite being a Sacha Jenkins, but to create your public persona around that definitely makes you kind of like have an interest.
But, you know,
connection.
when I was growing up, I hated my name. There weren't many black people with the name. And now the president goes and names his daughter Sasha. And now there's probably a lot of Sacha Jenkins.
yeah,
Jenkins
for
is a
sure.
common name. So I was the only Sacha Jenkins for many years. Now I'm sure I'm the 50th.
But
you're the
in our
first.
hearts, Sasha, you're always number one.
Thanks.
Let's show another picture from Post It Up. And it can help you guys understand why Sasha is number one in our hearts.
Wow.
Boom.
Oh, wow. Wow, you guys dug in the
Looking
crates.
tight,
Right.
making moves,
Dapper Dan.
chilling with Dapper, the most dapper of all time.
That's the guy.
Who's more dapper?
Dapper Dan's number one, man.
On the
He's number
dapper
one.
scale, guys, you've heard of the stock market. On the dapper market,
He's got a new,
Doppler radar.
he's got a book out
Footage.
now. It's supposedly really good. His story is really phenomenal. I think they're making a feature film about his life. It's really amazing.
what do you think is one of the most interesting parts of the story of Dapper Dan?
Well, it's the story of hip hop. Hip hop is all about seeing stuff that's in your environment that wasn't made for you and figuring out a way to make it for you, how to make it work for you. And so the way he reimagined fashion and created a whole other vocabulary based on words that existed, and now finally after all these years, after being harassed and shunned, now the mainstream fashion world is respecting and honoring him and
And cutting him
acknowledge-
checks.
and acknowledging his contribution, because honestly hip hop has changed the game. Like, no one gives a fuck about what John Bon Jovi's wearing. You know, rock and roll, and I'm in a rock band right now, 1865, fuck with us. Like, no one cares about what rock and roll has to say in terms of culture. Hip hop is the dominant voice in that world, and what Dan has done and what hip hop has done, reimagining so many things and giving us the people of hip hop an opportunity to speak, is powerful. So I'm happy for him.
Shout out to Dapper Dan. And you referenced the 1865. We want to make sure we show one more photo before we wrap up on Post It Up. Because guess what? The next photo is of the 1865.
Ah.
I look like a Crip lumberjack, like an angry.
A crumberjack.
I don't know.
There are a lot of those, actually.
I'm sure. I'm from New York. Those are just the colors I wore. I have no affiliation with anything.
No
outside of
affiliation.
being
We're
black.
just wearing clothes out here.
Yeah. So yeah, the 1865 all black band. Honeychild, our front person. She's amazing. You know, the music is all inspired by events that might have happened right after the Emancipation Proclamation. Figured this is a great time to make music. The times that we're living in now, to me, the best music was always inspired by the times. So I felt like I wanted to do something that addressed what was happening indirectly and had some chutzpah to it. So here we are.
I feel that. And speaking of chutzpah and addressing the world at large, guys, that means it's time for our next segment, which is called Roll the News.
Yes.
Before we dig in too deep, we want to check in with the Mary Jane fam. We want to check in with the Snoopaverse, everyone who's out there tuning in to About That Time today. We're chilling with Sacha Jenkins. We're going to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Loon. They make magical vaporizers. They make pre-rolls. You can check them out on the Instagram. It's a sexy thing. Cannabis is such a different thing, Sacha, when you say than it was when you were coming up. Like that's a cannabis product right there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I thought weed was bad. Now I think it actually helps people, and America's realizing they can make lots of money from it. So all of a sudden, it'll be something that will be accepted.
Yeah, that seems to be the way it goes.
But we didn't have the education we have now.
No,
I wouldn't have thought it was bad as a kid if I knew all the wonderful things that it could do.
A lot more information nowadays.
Right.
Let's continue to be informed, guys. We're going to jump into the first story. We spoke of Nas earlier. This is a story about Lil Nas X, who has been tearing up the charts. His song Old Town Road has just broken the record for the longest streak at the top of the Billboard chart.
He got
what do you think of that,
horses in the
Sash?
back.
My 7-year-old loves them.
Have you listened to Old Town Road?
I have.
And what do you think, Sasha? I mean, the banjo. We've talked about the banjo actually in the past. There's actually a banjo sample in the song.
Banjo was the original instrument of the black man. Now people associate it just with country music, but I mean, I think what he's done is really like, it's nice. Like people get really caught up in what's real rap, and it's like no one gives a fuck. I mean, you can go and make real rap all day. To me, that's just like blues music, right? And then there's pop music that comes from the blues. All of this stuff comes from the blues anyway. So it's like, yo, he's making pop music. My 7-year-old loves it. All his little friends love it. It's a positive song.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with it? God bless.
God bless. Well, we do need to say God bless to Lil Nas X, because the other part of this story is when he was asked about how he was going to celebrate breaking this momentous record, he said he would tonight cry for only 3 hours in the bathtub versus the 5 which he usually cries in the bathtub.
He is, honestly, he's witty, he's hilarious. I like how he shuts people down. I'm all for Lil Nas X. You go, boy.
He reminds me of
You
Lil
go,
B,
boy.
kind of, minus the foot fetish weird stuff that Lil B's into.
Yeah.
I know he's from your area, but I love Lil B. Lil B is amazing to me.
Wonderful. Shout out Lil Nas X. You broke the record. Those extra 2 hours that you're not crying tears, write us another one, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, we're ready for it. We have another story from Roll the News tonight. The 16-year-old Fortnite champion just took home $3 million in the tournament. Now, Fortnite is a game that dropped very, very recently,
Yes.
and it's become a global phenomenon. And this kid's out here getting $3 million for winning the Fortnite tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, what message does that send to the youth? I mean, should kids just stay home and like focus on getting really good at games? I mean, that's going to start happening.
That is happening. I mean,
Right.
this guy's in training 12 hours a day, I'm guessing, to be a champion on that level, because I think he won by a sizable margin.
But how
so
do
this
you
guy's
train?
deep.
Like, I'm rusty. Like, I used to fuck with ColecoVision. No one even knows what I'm talking about. Like, how do you train for something like this?
You just play and play and play, and you bring as many different challenges and contexts and things into the fold that you can in order to make yourself as prepared as possible.
Right, but it sounds like if you have a photographic memory, you have an advantage because you can see things that are replicated. Or
It does
things
seem
that
like your ability to perceive movement on the screen, like certain colors changing and stuff like that, before you can actually like process it as like a thing, would definitely give you a distinct advantage. But let's think about it though. Back in the
Goodness
day,
gracious.
if you thought like a rock star was really cool, then you'd go home and you'd play guitar, right? You want to be a rock star. So I guess this is just a new form of thing that one can cultivate in themselves to become. It just happens to be that you're going to stick yourself to looking at a screen all day,
sitting
literally
on
every
your
day.
ass.
Most likely sitting. You know, they probably. I bet they do. They have the walking desk. They have like the treadmill. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised if those guys that got on. They got the treadmill. These guys are athletes. They have to train. They have energy drink sponsors. Like they're really. They might even use some CBD here and there for
Might?
recovery.
Oh, they're using.
Well, I don't want to speak for others. I like to let others speak for themselves. We have a check-in actually from the audience. Speaking of letting people speak for themselves, Sacha Jenkins, you're getting mad love. Amber Carroll has just sent you 5 green hearts. Sash, she's repping hard. Amber, thanks for checking in. We're hanging with Sasha. We love it too. We know exactly how you feel.
Hanging loose.
We got green hearts. We got
Hanging
green
My
hearts.
heart is actually green right now.
Yeah, that's
Apparently.
true. That's true.
Apparently.
Guys, we have one more story from Roll the News tonight. New York's Governor Cuomo just signed a bill to decriminalize marijuana in the state of New York, Sasha.
Nice.
Finally.
Hasn't this been like a...
Now, guys, to be clear, there was a bill to make cannabis recreationally or adult use legal in New York. That bill failed.
Right.
This bill is an attempt by Governor Cuomo to sort of plug the hole of the broken legislation with a stopgap legislation that at least decriminalizes the plant in the state of New York. What do you think, Sash?
I mean, it's phenomenal. So many people I grew up with caught cases for weed. It's ridiculous. It's
Unbelievable.
Ridiculous. People in jail rotting away for weed. It's just, it's embarrassing for the country.
That's embarrassing for the country.
And horrible for the people who have to live through it.
Well,
I can only imagine going to jail for something that is like advertised on billboards now.
Right.
it is pretty unbelievable, and thank goodness that future generations will never have to know what it was like to experience that firsthand. To that point, this legislation may affect an estimated 600,000 state residents who could now be eligible for the expungement of past cannabis-related convictions. 600,000 people in New York alone that need records to be expunged.
Right. That who can maybe vote now or do things that they couldn't do before.
Right.
What does that say?
I mean, it is about that time, literally.
Yeah.
It's about that time, guys. Let's check in once more with the audience. Mary Jane, everyone in the Snooperverse, thanks so much for checking in with us, guys. This is about that time. We're chilling with Sacha Jenkins. We're doing our thing. We're enjoying Loon vaporizers. We got our critter clique in the house. Sometimes they're glowing kitties. Sometimes they're smaller kitties. Sometimes they're bigger kitties. That is Clarence.
Yes.
That's Clarence. He's our lion. He's cute. Yeah, he hangs with us, right? He's got a vibe. He's day glow.
He's
day
changed
glow.
a lot.
Yeah, he evolves. He gets bigger. He gets smaller. You know.
He's got a lot going on right now.
He's got a lot going on. Sasha, we do one more segment.
Of course.
On about that time. We call it Astrology time. We checked in with the world. We checked in with you and what's going on in Sasha Jenkins land. We like to make sure that we also check in with the stars. Sasha, you know me as a fan of astrology. We flip the tone of the show. We break out the salt crystal lamp. We check in with the stars. We look at your horoscope, and you tell us if you think it's on point or not.
All right, let's do it.
Have you ever? Do you read the horoscope? I know you have your lady friend, wife.
The wife knows a bit about it. I'm open to it, but I don't really make moves based on it. But she talks about, she always references you when we're talking about ask Noah, Mercury retrograde. Ask Noah, he'll tell you. She knows. I'm like, maybe whatever. Yeah, your friend, you'll believe him over me. Ask him.
It is true, guys. I am often referred to in the need of astrology verification. And that's why I'm calling on you, Sasha, to tell us whether these statements from your horoscope, you think they're on point or not. They have amazing patience. Oh, I actually have Lil Nas X's cards.
See?
Yeah.
I'm very unhappy about them. I'm impatient.
They thrive. Well, but do you thrive on attention?
Who doesn't thrive on attention? That's where it's like, are there people who don't thrive on attention?
People seem to like attention, I would say.
Tell me, is there a sign, since you're a fucking Zodiac killer, like, is there a sign that does not fucking thrive on attention? Help me understand this.
I would say there are a certain number of people that could answer no to that question. There are people that do not thrive on attention.
Right, but across the actual Zodiac, is there a sign that is known for not thriving on attention?
Like being super shy?
Yeah, being in the cut.
What would something like that be?
Cancer.
I'm just
Pisces.
looking at thrive on attention. Very simple statement. Hit me with something else, because that's just like whatever.
Okay, we got element number 2.
Yeah.
You can tell us what you think. High-strung and somewhat nervous in nature, Sash. Do you think you have a nervous personality? Do you consider yourself a nervous,
I think
high-strung
people
person?
see me and don't think I'm nervous.
You keep it cool, but in your head you're grinding.
Everyone's nervous, but people actually say that I'm the opposite, that they can't read me and I'm very cool and
mysterious.
Relaxed. Is that not true?
Yeah, I've heard it before.
Do I seem high strung?
No, you
can
seem.
tell me. We're friends.
Well, I will say this right now.
Don't fight, guys.
You definitely always have a lot going on, but you always do seem to be able to kind of keep it chill, which is it's a rare skill. I mean, I would say that you're high strung and nervous in nature potentially, but you're really good at keeping it all.
Right. So then this isn't so. 2 strikes on the 2 things.
2 strikes.
The first one, that's just general shit. Who the fuck doesn't thrive on attention? The sun we thrive when the sun gives us attention. We live, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
thrive.
You need that attention.
Right.
Yeah.
So is the sun shining down on us considered attention? Like, Earth is getting attention, right?
This is
we
maybe
thrive.
the deepest
so
question.
If the sun
Does
is
the
not
sun
out,
shining down
so when
on
the
us?
sun is not out, we don't thrive, right? Is that what you're saying? At night we don't
So
fucking
what happens
thrive.
at night?
Exactly.
Then that's when
We don't thrive. We sleep. right?
I think the
Well, what about night owls?
Well, the freaks do come out, guys.
The
so
freaks do come out at night. Night owls, I don't
that's
know.
the other side of the coin.
They smoke crack.
There are night owls. There are night owls. We've got another one, Sasha. You can tell us if you like it or not. A little UFO action here too. Money management, not their strong suit. How do you feel about numbers, spreadsheets, crunching
I'm a
numbers?
creative person, but I'm able to hold my household down and take care of my family, so can't be that bad.
Can't be that bad.
Always room for improvement.
Always,
There we
yes,
go.
for all of us guys.
This
you
is
know?
the Zodiac told you that I'm not good with money
Yeah,
management.
that's your birth chart. In your birth
Get
chart.
out of here.
No, I'm
Well, you
saying
don't know.
money. It didn't say you're not good at it. It said it's not. You're not strong.
not your
suit.
strong
But you
suit.
don't know my actual time of birth.
It's true that we're taking it just from your natal chart based on your birthday, not your
Right.
exact. So we're not factoring in your rising sign, which is a whole other set of characteristics.
Right. So then this might not be totally accurate.
I wish,
This is for
guys, if
someone that
anyone
was
out in
born
Mary Jane Land
an
was
hour
not sure of
before
it,
you.
the horoscope could definitely be not accurate. There's a
No.
100% chance of that.
All right, cool.
100%.
Just checking.
100% chance of the horoscope not being accurate. Okay, let's do one more.
Yes.
Before we end the show, they have strong ties to their parents. Sasha,
Yeah,
you
well,
rep the fit. You're
You're gonna say this is general. He's gonna
One of
say this
them's
is general.
dead. You know, Dad's been dead for a minute, but he's got a film that was lost for a lot of years that we found is being re-released and is getting critical acclaim. So, and my mom is there. You know, always down with my mom. I wouldn't be who I was if I wasn't for her. Whoever I am.
Guys, inspired by the parents. This one seems
Yeah.
like it. It has a good message, whether it's accurate or overly general. It's a message we like.
No, you're trying to say I can't fucking hold my money down, bro. Damn.
I didn't say
Are
anything,
we
Sasha.
public
I asked
forum?
you
the
if
name of your
Jeez.
dad's film?
Yeah, my dad's film's called Cane River.
Cane
C-A-N-E River. Horace Bird Jenkins the third. Look it up.
And we should, Sash, tell a little bit more color about the way this film came to light for you, because I think that's actually a very interesting story as well.
We're doing a lot. Are we doing this together?
I Googled my father like 4 years ago. Like, yo, let me just Google this dude. And then I find an article in the New York Times about this film by this filmmaker who died, and they knew nothing more about it. So I reached out to them and I said, hey, that's my dad's film. I'm a filmmaker, blah, blah, blah. That led to more Times articles and NPR. Now it's screened at MoMA, New Orleans Film Festival. There's going to be a screening in September at the at the Academy here in LA. So it's a big deal. It's coming out. It's great.
Cane River.
And I grew up, single parent home and telling people that my dad won Emmy Awards. He's a filmmaker. He one of the founding producers of Sesame Street. Nobody believed me. So to find this thing later in life at a time when I'm actually getting some rhythm for some of the things I'm doing in a similar space is kind of like, I don't know if that has anything to do with the Zodiac, but things happen for reasons that are well beyond me and us. I believe that for sure.
Have you always kind of been into filmmaking-esque?
Well, I was raised in a family where my mom was a painter and my dad was a filmmaker, so
Yeah.
culture was always a part of the thing.
Yeah.
So I started out publishing zines when I was a kid, a graffiti zine and a hip-hop zine and then magazines. So always had a sense of understanding that what was happening in front of me, which was hip-hop, it had value to it and someone needed to document it. So I just had, because of the way, who I was surrounded by, had the natural instinct to document. And so my interest in documenting culture has taken me from publishing zines as a kid to making films in my twilight years. So
Yeah,
here we are.
it's the truth.
And making music with him sometimes.
On occasion, guys, White Man Dingoes, Wilding Incident. We've done some
War
tunes out there.
Game.
War Game. We go deep, guys. 950s. Whoa.
950s.
Whoa. Daryl Jennifer, shout out. Sash, before we wrap the show, we'd like to make sure we give you a moment to let the people out there in Mary Jane Land, in the world of the Snooperverse, know about what they should be checking for you on the horizon.
Well, funny that you say this, but Mary Jane, there's an artist who is no longer with us who has a song called Mary Jane. I'm making a film about him. So that's kind of my next move. look out for that. Look out for, I'm here taking various meetings in Hollywood, so there could be some other things.
Wu-Tang documentary on Showtime right now.
Wu-Tang up for an Emmy, which is really
Emmy.
nice. Living life, trying to enjoy the summer.
Guys, enjoy the summer.
Working out, going to Planet Fitness a little bit more these days.
There you go.
Guys, hit the elliptical. Enjoy the summer.
Right.
Watch some Showtime. Come back to About That Time. We hang out. We do good things. We love good people. Sash, thanks so much for coming through.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's been wonderful.
Genuinely.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Yeah, good times.
Bay Area
Mary
right
Jane,
here. Yeah.
About That Time. We'll be back with you soon.